Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. Thank you guys so much for your input and suggestions on my last debt update where I asked you what you guys thought I should do as far as paying the lowest interest or the highest interest or the lowest balance, especially since I have a 0% promotion right now. I really appreciate all of your feedback and your advice. What I thought would be interesting was to see what like a debt calculator says makes the most sense. So I got this debt calculator online. It's from Vertex 42. I'll try to remember to leave a link for it. And you put in your creditors, the balance, your interest rate, and your payment, and then it gives you all of these options as to your debt strategy. You can do a snowball, an avalanche, the order you enter it in the table, no snowball, highest first, lowest first, based on these numbers here in the custom column. So we're just going to put in my debts, the balances as of like the last debt update you guys saw, my interest rate and my payments, and see, how long it says that it will take for me to pay off this debt, because that's what I really am the most interested to know. Like, we've been paying off this credit card debt since November of 2022, and I personally am exhausted. Like, the just the mental load that I'm carrying, trying to figure out how to pay down the debt, what the best possible way to pay down the debt is, to keep Brian focused on not accruing any new debt, because there's things that he wants to get that we don't have the cash for. I'm just tired. I'm going to say something that I know you guys are going to be highly upset about, but I suggested to him that we, excuse me, take the money from our 401ks and just pay off our credit cards, like get rid of them completely. That would free up, $650 a month that we could use to, um, you know, put to the side for savings for our emergency fund, and or in a Roth IRA, or contribute more to our retirement at work. I'm just really tired of this debt payoff, because it's a lot of money. It was a lot of money. So I forget what I was gonna say, but essentially, yeah. Let's see how much longer this debt payoff calculator says that we are going to be paying off this credit card debt if we continue to pay it the way we are paying it now. Yeah. All right, so let's start with our Navy Federal card. Oops, I wrote it in the wrong spot, didn't it? Navy Federal. Our balance was $14,218.18. The interest rate is 16.5, and we're paying $250 a month. Our Avon card, we owed $16,447.60, and the interest rate is 13.5%, and we pay $250 a month. And then last is our ViStar card, and the balance was $10,165.43. The interest rate is 0% currently, and we're paying $112 a month. Okay, so if we just pay the minimum payment of $612 and let's go snowball, lowest balance first. It says that we will pay these 3 cards off in 2034, which is like 9 years from now. And we'll have paid $26,890.90. That's a long time. And that's assuming that this ViStar card has 0% that entire time, which of course it will not. It expires in May of next year. So even if it was 0%, to infinity and beyond, it would still take us 91 months to pay it off, paying $112. So let's go, if we were able to put an extra $100 a month towards one of the debts, let's see how that changes the numbers. So if we pay an extra $100 towards the ViStar card, that would get us paying it off in 48 months as opposed to 91 months. But it still makes our debt-free date 2033, which is 8 years away. And we'd end up paying $22,464 in interest. So let's change this to the Avalanche. We're going to put it back at $612. And let's choose the Avalanche method and see how it looks. All right, so that would have us paying off the Navy Federal card first. And it's also showing that we would pay it off in 2034, paying $26,890 in interest. And if we change it to give us a $100 snowball amount, wow, that looks like it made a significant change. Yeah, almost $10,000. If we pay an extra $100 towards this Navy Federal card, we'd get it paid off, or we'd be debt-free by July 2032, which is the shortest time so far, and we'll have paid $17,573. So 2032 is what, 8 years away? 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 7 years away. So that's the shortest amount of time and the least interest to go Avalanche method and try to pay at least a $100 more towards it per month. So that's a bummer. I know some months we pay, more than $100. Like in August, we are planning to pay $550 towards Navy Federal. When we get a good lump sum of money, we definitely pay more than $100. I would say like $100 extra is probably worst case scenario. So based on that information, I feel like it will be sooner, but still, even like 5 more years is just a long time. And when I was telling Brian about, the 401k thing, I was like, we're living like in the trenches today in 2025 with inflation, these credit card payments, not being able to save up enough money in case something happens because our debt payments are so high. Our retirement is more than 25 years away. Like, I'm not even 40 yet. So I understand that taking the $40,000 from our 401k, we're losing out on compound interest over, the 5 years or whatever it takes for us to start building it back up. But it's just hard for me to feel like we're like in the trenches and suffering today for something that is like 25 years in the future. Like, in 25 years, we won't have any debt. Our mortgage will be paid off. Our mortgage is only a 25-year mortgage. We're on year 3. So we have 22 years left on our mortgage. So we won't have a mortgage payment. Lord willing, and Deep Creek don't rise, we won't have car payments. Like, as long as we stay steadfast on not incurring more debt and building up our savings, so when we need something, we can just pay cash. We won't have to worry about being in debt when we retire. So if we don't have $5 million when we retire, then it won't be the worst thing in the world, but it just sucks right now. Like, the struggle is real. So that's all sad news. I do have a smidgen of good news. So you guys know I've been like looking and waiting for one of the cards that I have to offer us a 0% promo, and none of them had, but I went ahead and applied for a new card with Navy Federal and got approved, and it has a 2% interest rate for 12 months. So what I did was balance transfer this Avon card to Navy Federal, So now it's going to be at 2% as opposed to the 13.5% it was at. So let's take a look at how the numbers look with that initial snowball amount of $100 if we do the avalanche method now with the 2% interest. So that changes our payoff date to 2031 and has us paying $7,716 in interest, which I'm just trying to see, I forget what it was before. 17,000. So it's saving us like $10,000 in interest if we, you know, had this 2% indefinitely, which we won't. So that's the unfortunate thing about this calculator. Like, you can't show how, like, when your promotional APR is going to end. I think there's another one out there, Undead. I used that in the past when we lived at our old house. I was using Undead. I haven't been on there in a while, but I know it had a place where you could put when your promotional APR ended. So it'd probably give me a more realistic look, but it's a lot of work, like adding accounts and putting in all that information. So I just wanted something really quick to give me a quick glimpse at what it could look like if we, or now that we have this 2% offer from Navy Federal. So if we change it to the snowball and do the ViStar card first, then that gives us a payoff date of October 2031 and $11,000 in interest that we would pay. So I don't know what I feel like I'm most motivated to pay off. The balances are all pretty similar and they all make me mad. So I feel like I'm leaning more towards the Navy Federal with the 16.5% interest, just to try and like get the balance down so we're accruing as little interest as possible, and then just keep hoping that new promotions come around that we can take advantage of to lower or keep our other cards at 0% or like 1 or 2%. So all right, that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you being here, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.